So my question to you, Mr. Bland, and you have to answer this honestly. Why haven't the Dallas Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl with the teams that they've had for the last 25 years?
I am Deron Bland. This is One Degree Podcast.
Ooh. Kenny, every time. Ooh. All right, y'all. Welcome in. 1 Degree Podcast off the field. We get the best guests that we can for you. We got a good one for you guys today. Give you a little introduction. So this man right here is actually, were you born and raised in Modesto?
Yep.
Born and raised in Modesto, went to Sac State out of high school, right? Then transferred to Fresno State, was drafted by none other than the Dallas Cowboys, NFL draft 2021. 22. Dang, he's a baby. Drafted in 22. Second year in the league, broke the record for single season interception returns for touchdown, right?
Yeah.
That was your second season?
Yeah.
Man, welcome in. None other than Deron Bland. Deron,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
thanks for joining us, man. Young buck, 24 years old.
Yes, sir.
Kenny's 15 years older than you.
Not that old. 35. So 11.
Oh,
Getting up
man.
Yeah, I'm getting up there. I feel it, bro. I feel like I'm 45.
Deron, appreciate you coming in. A lot of good stuff to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the stuff that nobody really hears about. Everybody knows about, the pick six, playing for the Cowboys. Everybody can see that. But we're going to get into you kind of as a person, your road, your journey, what you like to do off the field, your kind of pregame, stuff, the stuff that not everybody gets to see, right? But we're going to start off with this golf tournament that we went to. Bring the Juice. Our boy Frank. This is the reason why you're in town,
Yeah.
right? So it was your first time golfing.
Yeah.
Bring the juice, and let me tell you what: if you're a guy that likes to party and likes to golf, this is the golf tournament for you.
Yeah, and just follow Frank and bring the juice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all he does. That's his thing.
That's his thing. Great turnout, but you were there for that. I want to get your thoughts on number one, golf as a sport, and then number two, this Bring the Juice golf tournament. What'd you feel about it?
Golf as a sport, it's probably one of the most challenging sports and most humbling sports, I'll probably say, besides baseball. But it's definitely fun.
Kenny, baseball is way harder than
Baseball's
football.
not that hard, though.
We'll get into that. Don't worry. We'll get into that. So, have you ever swung a club before Friday?
I was practicing on Top Golf, so a little bit.
So you went to Top Golf so you can get
Just
some,
a good little swing.
So you just
Get
didn't
some
make a
swings
fool of
in.
yourself out there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still made a
But
fool
you
of myself. Yeah.
But you're golfing with Spock, right?
Yeah.
So you're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
He was making a
You
fool
were
of
golfing with
himself.
Spock?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not that far off. All you have to do is add Kenny, and you're
Yeah,
actually like
damn.
2 weeks, you'll be set.
Yeah,
Oh.
good.
Kenny, you actually probably should have went to the range before we played that golf tournament
Yeah.
because Kenny didn't play very good.
Yeah, I didn't swing a club for like probably a month before that, and then I just didn't even hit any balls on the range. Just went out there and just
Oh, yeah.
swung it.
Yeah,
Hey.
I definitely lost about 3 balls every hole.
Every hole.
Kenny lost a few too.
I was there.
All right, Wiggins, give us your analysis of your play in the tournament, and where do you think we would have finished if you had actually hit the ball for the first 9 holes?
So the first 9 holes, tale of two different stories, right? Like this is what was going on. Yeah, the first 9 I couldn't even get on underneath it. I didn't even hit the ball off the ground.
No.
And it was just going up. So yeah, that was rough. But back 9 or the second 9 that we played, turn it around. I was sticking them on the green. That one par 3, I stuck it to like 2 feet. If it was close to the hole, I might have won it. And I was driving the ball well too. Hey, but I was putting well all day.
Well, I mean,
was putting well all day.
What are you talking? You were putting off the tee box. You were topping your drives. You were topping your drives. So you putted all day basically.
Yeah,
when you have
You're
that
right.
mix reps, you're gonna figure it out.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
I'm figuring out that new putter though. Thanks, Pinelli.
This needs to be longer. You look like
Don't worry about
you
it.
look. He's 6'7", putting with a 30-inch putter. It looks bad.
Tell him he doesn't know. I like how I putt. All right, I'm comfortable.
Are you sure?
Yep, very comfortable.
All right, let's get into this. Deron, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, probably the, what would you say, most famous sports team in America.
Yeah.
Right? You have fans all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that when you're traveling, it's you probably play the most home games out of any NFL team because you're traveling and it's pretty much a home game for you.
Yeah,
Kenny was
much.
the opposite when he was playing with the Chargers. Every game was basically an away game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was different. What was the biggest thing that you noticed about the Dallas Cowboys that you didn't notice when you were in college or high school, let alone just like how big of a deal they are? But what's something that you didn't know about the Cowboys before you got drafted that kind of just like blew your mind?
Really, it's kind of just blew my mind. It's kind of like the fan base and just how the culture is over there. You know, everybody's in tune to the culture, and it's like so big that it's like you just want to gravitate to kind of. So it was that kind of fascinated me about that because like I never like really watched the Cowboys. I was usually about
You just
players.
like players, yeah.
So like it was always hard about that. So but it was good.
So the Cowboys were bigger than you even thought.
Yeah.
And then how do you feel playing for the Cowboys? Now you're on the field, AT&T Stadium, or wherever you go. There's just as many Dallas Cowboys fan jerseys in the stands on the road as there is your opponents, and you're playing in their in their stadium. How does that make you feel as a player? Was it something that you kind of had to get used to about how big they were?
Oh, definitely. You know, because I'm more so like the introvert, quiet guy. So like now, come to the Cowboys, no more people know me, and being on the Cowboys, just having that logo. So like, more people just know me and they want to interact with me. So like that part of it, just make myself just trying to branch out. So
Yeah, that star is like nationally and worldly known, right? Like internationally known, and it's like to have that. I mean, you drive around Dallas and like everybody, like there's stickers on all their cars and like there's flags flying out the houses and
like
everything
jersey.
like that. Like
Yeah.
jersey, like people just wearing jerseys like in like
a grocery
May.
store.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like not even to a game. Like it's crazy. I have like a good friend who lives in Dallas and like in the Frisco area too. So it's like he's like right by the Star and just like having that like facility of the Star, right? Like it's crazy. It's their practice facility, but there's restaurants.
It's like a museum too,
yeah,
right?
and there's a big turf field out there that anybody can go to and like really like train on basically or whatever. So it's crazy, man. It's like such a I feel like that's how every NFL team should be. Like, right? Like I know that not everyone is like as big as the Cowboys or has as financially backed as the Cowboys, but if you put like money into it, I think it would grow and like it would like
almost to where because the NFL pretty much owns Sunday from August all the way through the winter. So if they can kind of each team has like an event that they can put on all weekend, right? Because like a Dallas Cowboys home game, it's like a whole weekend event. It's not just it's not just a Sunday game. They're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday night game. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Out of, let's see, what would you think? You got Dallas. What would you say, like Lakers, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Alabama, Crimson Tide? Like it's big time down there. What would you say out of all those? Who's the biggest and has the most support in their actual hometown? Kenny, I'll go with you first.
I mean, Alabama's hard to beat, bro. Like that college
That's
football.
College football
south,
in the South is different.
Hard.
It's different.
But like Dallas is sharing with the Mavericks, the Rangers. They have a bunch of sports teams they're sharing with, right? And colleges too. Tuscaloosa, Alabama that is the show. Like that is the only thing on that. So I think if you're gonna put college into it,
what does he say? Get nothing about no piss about the Tide. What does he say?
Ain't no piss about it. But yeah, dude, that is
Roll
Alabama's
Tide.
hard to beat because college football is crazy down south.
Yeah, and some
You think it's bigger than Dallas or than the Cowboys?
Saying to the town, no,
Right?
because Tuscaloosa, they're all about Alabama to Roll Tide.
Dallas is way bigger though. Too.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that NFL is always going to get put above just because like of the contracts and the players, right? Because the players show up in the Lambos, they got the Gucci suits on, like
maybe with
college
the
now. Shoot, now you can see it, and that's kind of what I was going to go into. Also, as we talked to Marcus McMaryion, played quarterback at Fresno State. He's in charge of the NIL now. with the Bulldogs, working with the alumni, trying to get these guys paid and stuff. And we were
Mm-hmm.
talking to him about how much money he probably would have made when he was transferring from Oregon to Fresno State, or if he even would have played at Fresno State. Because Oregon, he was talking to he went to Oregon State. He was talking to other schools too.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not like, hey, come here. This is what we got for a program. We got good players. Now it's like, hey, we're gonna give you $150,000. Or we're gonna give you this car.
Yeah.
We have a deal set up with Honda, Toyota, whatever like the local car shops are.
Mm-hmm.
For you, looking back, do you think that it would have impacted your college career, or do you think that you're kind of happy with how it panned out, because obviously it worked out good for you?
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, obviously I'm happy with it, but for me, it probably wouldn't have changed too much because coming from Sac State,
Mhm.
I wasn't really notable out there. So coming to Fresno, it was like nobody really knew me. So the NIL wouldn't really pop off for me.
Yeah.
So I was really focused about football. So
Do you feel like that made you better as a player? Kind of like that grind, going to Sac State, coming to Fresno State, working, having to prove yourself, going into the draft. What round were you drafted in?
5th round.
5th round. It's a big deal.
167.
It's a big deal just to get drafted. I didn't understand that, because like getting drafted in MLB, you have 20 rounds. It used to be like 50 rounds. A lot of guys got drafted, but there's like 15 minor league teams, right?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to make it to the big leagues. But to get drafted in the NFL, I didn't know that there was so many non-drafted free agents on teams and making names for themselves, and in some cases one of the best players on that team.
And that's what usually happens. Usually those later round guys are usually the ones that stay the longest.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I feel like more so sometimes the pressure of, cause the first round, second round guys, they're getting thrown in the fire usually.
This is what we talked about last week. Who in your eyes getting to see both, because you're kind of in the middle, right? You got drafted, which you kind of have a spot on the team, but you're not the first round pick, and then you're not the guy that just signed as a free agent deal to come in. In your eyes, who do you think has more pressure? The first round pick that's supposed to be able to contribute to the team day one, or the guy that signed as a non-drafted free agent trying to make the team? Who do you think has more pressure on them?
That's a tough one. I would say the first rounder though, because even though like you don't know like how the NFL works, you still got to be out there to perform, and they're still expecting you to perform because they're paying you for that first round, and you don't really have time to make mistakes. So that's why you see a lot of first rounders just not staying more than 3 years, and you see the undrafted guys, they keep bouncing around different teams, but once they find their ground, they're there for a long time. So I feel like it's harder for the first rounders.
What do you think, Kenny?
I think it's harder for the undrafted guys in the first 3 years, and then after it's harder for the first round guys, right? Because like you go in as a first round draft pick, you're on the team, right? You got a spot. You are maybe slotted in as a starter.
Yeah.
Like you got to just go out there and play. Undrafted guy, you got to make the team.
Yeah.
Like, right. That's the pressure, right? You got to show out within the first 3 months you're there. You don't have that luxury of like, oh, I'm a first round pick. Yeah. I can make a few mistakes if and then still be around here to prove myself. Like the window of opportunity is so small for the undrafted guys that once they like stick around for a little bit, then it's like, okay, like this guy could play. Yeah. He didn't get drafted, but whatever. We can get him cheap. If we're going to get him to a next team or whatever, because that's kind of how I was my whole entire career, was like, oh, we can cut Kenny and bring him back and do all this stuff, and we're good, right? Like he's fine. No one's going to pick him up. He's not that good. He's an undrafted guy, and that's kind of what happened. But you cut a first rounder. Yeah. There's 5 other teams that are going to claim him, and he's going to be on a roster now. So it's now if that guy doesn't perform, he's getting cut because his pay's so high. So that's another thing too, where it's. I feel like the progression of like a career, it gets harder for the first rounder, but easier for the undrafted guy. So in the beginning, harder for the undrafted guy than the first rounder, but at the end of the career, the undrafted guy is easier than the first rounder, if that makes sense.
No, I feel that because being 5th round, like I thought I was gonna be able to just develop throughout the league, but you had these 2 years, so like it kind of jump started.
No doubt.
So
now you're looked at as one of the guys, right? Now it's like I have to live up to this 5 pick
standard,
6, the standard, because you set it so high so early, which is great because NFL stands for not for long.
Yeah.
And you got to take full advantage of when you get those opportunities, and when you get those balls thrown your way, you got to come down with them, and you went and scored, which you've done more than anybody in a season, which is crazy. Like,
okay, here we go now too. Do you now that you did that, and you're very well known for it, which you should be, right? Like everybody watches the Dallas Cowboys, you in the end zone, all that stuff. How do you feel now with that pressure? So, so this goes back to the first rounder, undrafted free agent. Do you feel like you have pressure on yourself now to do it again? Or is your mindset just focus on doing your job? And if those things happen, which everybody's going to say that, right? Like, I do my job, I have this. But now you're known as a dude that gets interceptions and, gets to the end zone. Where if you get interceptions, are people going to talk and say, well, he's not living up to, his potential, which how can you really measure somebody up to that? Like, you just broke a record. You can't break records every single year, right? Do you feel like you have added pressure, or do you feel like you kind of proved to yourself and the league and to the Cowboys that you can do your job and do it well and just kind of stick around? How do you feel now about your season that you had last year?
Honestly, now I kind of feel like relief now, because everybody, like, when I was going through the season last year, like, everybody was so, like, when I got close to the record, and everybody's like, go get the record so much, like, every week. So, like, I can't even focus on doing my job. So it kind of got too much into that part. So now I feel like
where people were focusing on that more than just like the team and what you had to do and basically football. Yeah,
and me, I'm not.
You don't want that on you.
No, because I'm not gonna want to think about that during the game. I'm thinking about, okay, what's the score? Where we at right now? What's time on the clock? So that type of stuff, like, it just takes away from football for me. But now I feel like it's just like relief to be able to go back, just do my job, and just hold myself to another standard still.
Are you proud to have it, or is it just, to you, something that you did? Because a pick six is pretty rare. You guys aren't supposed to get into the end zone, but you did. Like, obviously, you're proud to do it. Your, family, everybody's proud. Dallas Cowboys are proud of you. But to you, are you proud to have that record?
I'm proud, but, like, I was saying, because I had so many people just on me about the records. Like, once I retrieved the record, it was like, all right, I got it.
You just had a relief over it. What's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
For sure. And then, like, kind of talk about, because you're a 5th round pick. You're not looked at like, okay, this dude's a guy, right? Going into camp or whatever, you're in your 2nd year. You're still young in the league. You still got to prove yourself. Yeah. And week after week, you go up, you line up against top receivers. You had Diggs on the other side of you too, which is a huge help, right? And that's probably the reason why you got a lot of balls thrown at you, right? Because this guy Diggs is one of the best corners in the league, but now, like, they're like, okay, we got to stay away from Diggs, so we're going to pick on this 5th round draft pick from Fresno State. And now you're like, you made him pay, right? So, like, talk about kind of that, like not competition, but like the relationship you have with Diggs, and that kind of like how he helped you get all these, like, really, because if he wasn't on the other side and there was somebody trash, they would be thrown at him. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you're trash, but as a scouting report, you're new to the league. You haven't proven yourself, but now people are going to be thrown away from you, right? So kind of talk about that relationship with you and Diggs and how that kind of transpired to you being a guy now.
I kind of started like my rookie year. Just starting out from the beginning when Jordan Lewis got hurt, and I had to fill in him for the slot. So like having Diggs and other guys on there on the field helped me that first year a lot. Just to be comfortable out there, and because like the first rookie year I had 5 picks, so I'm glad I got that. But still wasn't feel like it was a great season. And then coming to next season, I'm feeling good. I got Diggs, I got Gilmore.
Oh yeah, Gilmore too.
What do you have? What do you have now? 14 picks? I think so. Is that how many you have?
Yeah, I mean 14 picks now.
14 picks. You see that? Right in your face. That's pretty good in 2 years.
It should be more, but yeah, I dropped a couple.
14 in 2 years? That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
But that's what, like, it makes it fun. Like having a guy like Diggs and seeing like what he does in practice is like, all right.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do that type of stuff too.
No doubt. And I mean that's how I was too early in my career with like Joe Staley, who's the left tackle for the Niners forever. Just a guy that like you just try to like emulate everything he does, right? But then like soon, like really quick, I'm like, I'm not Joe Staley, and I can't do this stuff.
You realize
right?
the things you can do.
Yeah,
though,
and that makes you a better player too, because it's like you don't put limits on yourself, but you kind of you amplify your strengths and then kind of realize what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And you like after seeing like how good these guys are and what they're really good at, and see how they have success, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try it, but sometimes I'm not going to be able to do it, but now I know I can't do it or not as good at this, so I'm going to focus on what I'm really good at, which that's like how you grow as a player and how you become like a really good player too. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And that also helped too, having a coach like Al Harris, who's a technician. So
Al Harris, Packers?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was a stud, man.
Yeah. Anytime he'd say the ball in the air, he'd say go attack. So
Get it.
Just having him in the room gives you a lot more confidence.
So what's that? What is a locker room like? For you and those guys, Diggs, because you went into a defensive back room that was already doing it, right? Like already have talent. Do you feel like that kind of took the pressure off of you because you get to learn from these guys? They can help you. They're kind of lock up man, or do you feel like I have to step up in order to compete with these guys?
Oh no, that's how I felt. Like I felt like I had to step up, trying to continue what they're doing. Because like when I came in, I was doing corner and the slot, so I was a 2 in the slot, but also like a 3 or 4 on the outside. So it was tough a little bit, but like having those guys, seeing what they do on the field in practice, it makes you want to just try to do better.
Did either of them? Okay, I got Gilmore and Diggs, right? Probably two of the best dudes in the league. Right?
Yep.
Is there something that you learned from them on your own, or more something that they kind of told you, or you just watched what they did and said, okay, like I'm going to do that?
I'll say a little bit of both, because I've always been a guy just to watch people's tendencies and like just try to take bits and pieces from people and just see what I can do. That's just how I used to always say, like I used to always watch players growing up. But then Gilmore, having him always be in my ear talking about what you doing. What you eating? What you eating? What you getting coats up?
So he's kind of like,
he's teaching you how to be a professional.
Yeah, holding you accountable that it's more than just, a football player. You have to kind of be everything if you want to have success in this league. Is that kind of how?
Teach you the longevity of the league.
Very nice.
Those dudes are invaluable too.
Yeah.
Like they will add so many years to your career, because you're just a dumb college kid coming into the league, right? You don't know anything better. You come from Fresno State and you think you know everything, and you think like, I'm a draft pick, or I'm whatever. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm him. No, like those guys are the ones that did it and are doing it still, and have somebody showed them the way too.
Yeah.
So they're trying to give back. They're trying to bring up younger people underneath their wings too, which, I mean, that's like the best thing you can have, and that's like what people strive for. Like even like in like business or in real life, people are looking for mentors and people to like look up to who have already done it and already have gone through the ropes, and to have guys like Gilmore and Diggs and stuff like that in the room is crazy. And even like I'm sure you learn from like guys like Dak too, who's on the other side of the ball too.
The year before we had Jason Peters,
right? Like dudes that he's played in the league for like 20 years, and like Tyron Smith who played forever, and Zach Martin who played forever, and you got DeMarcus Lawrence on the line too.
A lot of Hall of Famers,
a lot of big dudes, a lot of old heads in the room. That was that's for sure. It's kind of sad to see like a team like that who have had like such good like core group of dudes all get older and kind of like deteriorate. And like Tyron is just like he's still Tyron, but he's not Tyron that he was, right? Like that dude is a freak.
He's huge too.
He is like
huge.
He's like 6'7". No, is he taller than you?
No, I don't think. I think he's like 6'6", but his arms are like down to his knees, like 6-pack. Like I'm like, what is this dude? Like one of the dudes that you look at, like, how are you built like that? Like that's not right. Like,
and that's the thing about professional sports too, is you have all different types of guys from all different types of the world, and you're gonna learn more playing in the NFL than you are going to go to college, like have a job, whatever, just because of different people, right? And you're going to notice, because me and Kenny, at the end of our career now, met tons of people, got to travel around, and then you're going to go down this journey too, and you're going to realize that you have players in the league that are talented, and
Yeah.
they're there because they're talented.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have guys in the league that just work their butt off. They got a
Yeah.
chip on their shoulder. There's something about them. They work. And then you have guys that are both of those.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like your top guys in the league. And
Ones that
then
last the longest.
and then even more rare are the guys that are a pro. You know, like
Mhm.
baseball, we always talk about like he's a pro.
Mhm.
Like that guy is a pro. And what I mean by pro is good husband, good father, good
Just doing it-
leader,
just doing everything
team
right.
guy. Like he is him, and he
Mhm.
has pride in people. When they say his name, they associate that with, you know, a professional, and that just comes with you know, failure, working, doing all that stuff, and also having somebody in your corner to help you.
Yeah.
Like how you were just saying that these guys are be like, you know, did you get in the cold tub? How are you eating? How are you sleeping? All that stuff, because all that goes into being a good player,
Mhm.
right? Because you can have all the talent in the
Yeah,
world,
you got all the time in the
and if
world.
you're not taking care of yourself, or you're not actually like on the field,
Mhm.
how you gonna help help your team? And the NFL is one of those tough things to where you got to be on the field and you got to be performing, and if you're not healthy, you can't really
Yeah,
perform.
that's the best thing to be
right?
available for a team.
Best ability is availability. No doubt.
That's it.
That's
So
my
how do
favorite
you
thing.
see, or how do you want your career to go on from now? Because you're obviously known for something. Are you a type of guy that just put your head down and work, and just let your play
Yeah.
kind of you know, speak for itself? Or do you kind of see yourself, you know, do you have are you married, or you have a girlfriend or
I have a
anything?
girlfriend, but I'm not married.
So do you kind of see yourself in the future? And this is kind of like a weird thing to like even like think about. Do you see yourself as a future, like being a husband, being a father, taking your, you know, kids to the field? Because Kenny's got to have his kids on the field with him. I got to have my daughter, you know, on the field with me.
Mhm.
Do you kind of see yourself, you know, 5-10 years down the road doing that?
I mean, yeah, that's like the dream, you know, just have your kids like just see what you're doing and have somebody just to look up to.
Mm.
So I always want to be like that.
And it's a
That-
weird thing to
in my
think
career.
about, huh?
It
Like,
is, yes.
because like I can speak for myself. Like when
Mhm.
I was like early in my career, you just think about being the big shot, right? It's
Right.
like, oh, you're like, I'm a professional athlete, I got drafted, all this
Oh,
stuff, and then you learn, you get your butt kicked,
Yeah.
right? Get your butt kicked, you learn, and then you meet, you know, good people, and you kind of hold on to those people and you keep them tight, and then you kind of
Mhm.
develop yourself like as time goes on, but it just takes time.
Yeah.
What about you? How you
Yeah,
feel?
man. I mean, the thought of that, like wanting like kids on the field and being like a good role model for your kids and your family, like started before I even had a family. Like
Mhm.
right, like that was like long before that, and that was a driving force in my football career for sure, because it was just like, I mean, don't know about your upbringing, but like mine wasn't that great. Like
Mhm.
dad wasn't in the picture that much, so I wanted to make my family proud
Yeah.
of like my last name. Like that was like a big thing. I wanted to change the narrative of my last name, and for my kids to be like super proud of having that name on the back of their jersey or whatever it is. That was like a big driving force for me, and I mean, hopefully they look up to me, but
Mhm.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Time,
know, yeah,
time will
like-
tell.
Yeah, they got their own minds.
Time will
Yeah,
tell.
would you say, Kenny, that your dad was your biggest inspiration?
My dad was my, like, everybody, like, who's like your biggest like
Mhm.
inspiration, right? They ask you that all the time, and for the longest time, like I said, like my mom, right, like because she like raised us and did all that kind of stuff. But like really thinking about it, like it was my dad, because it was like he taught me what I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like kind of using that negative reinforcement, but just kind of using it for good now. Right.
Mhm.
And using it for like, now, like what I went through, I don't want to put my kids through that. And that's kind of what inspired me the most was him, even though it was negative, but that's what kind of moved me forward in that light, which hopefully my kids can say I'm a good dad eventually, and I'm not out of their lives. Hopefully not, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Who's somebody that you look up to as a kid, or who's your biggest inspiration now?
My biggest inspiration was always my uncle. Just like what he had been through, like all throughout his life, and to be like the man to try to still do something for the family. Yeah, it was always somebody to look up to. But he passed away like my senior year for Fresno. Right.
So is that kind of like a thing where you're kind of wanting to make him proud type thing,
Mhm.
like, you know, putting in the work?
Oh yeah, because like he was one of the main people. Like I would say like reason I'm here
Yeah.
at this level. So yeah.
Heck yeah. It's tough to find, like everybody's talking about, oh, like, what's your why? You have a why to work. It's like, sometimes you don't have one. Like, it's not like, when people are like, oh, what's your why for the morning? Like when you wake up, why do you work hard? Why do you go to the field? It's like, you do it because you have to.
Yeah.
Like, you do it because you're disciplined and you do it. You don't always feel like doing it. It's not like you wake up, what's my why? Oh man, my uncle's watching me, and you just get like this, boost of energy, and you go and do it. Like, it's not like that. Everybody's searching for that, but it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, because everybody thinks the why is something that's gonna just keep motivating you, but the why is not gonna keep motivating you. It's the discipline that's gonna keep motivating you.
Like, elaborate that on a little bit more. Is that something that you learned, or?
Yeah, it's because that's something from my uncle. Taking things day by day, and to say through the grace of God, everything gets better and better. So, just taking it day by day, and you just take those little steps, and you see like, okay, I'm moving on. I'm still progressing, but it's not a lot. But I'm still moving. I'm not in the same place as yesterday.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
Yep.
And that's it. I think people get too caught up into these like big goals, right? Everybody says to write down goals. You're gonna write down your goals, but it's like you have to show up every day in order to even start the goals, right? So sometimes people think that day was, a failure because they didn't, power clean 500 pounds and feel great and have, like an amazing day. Sometimes those days where you didn't feel like doing anything, but you just showed up and you kind of just like went through the motions. Sometimes those are good days because you were there, right? And then you just keep stacking days, right? And then when you're there on Sunday, maybe you had a shitty week, right? Maybe practice was terrible, but then you go to the game and you just balled out. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, everything doesn't have to be perfect for me to have success. As long as I show up and I get better every day, then all that work's going to pay. Yeah. All that work's going to pay off in the end.
Yeah, because like that's like even in the league now, everybody has that motivation just getting there. But once you get there, where's that motivation at now?
Yep.
There you go. So where's yours? Do you feel like you had to pull motivation from somewhere else?
Sometimes I feel like I do, but knowing like my mom's still back at home and I still gotta get her a house, so that's still my motivation and my discipline, just building like my family wealth.
So now after the year that you've had, it's probably one of the best years that a cornerback can have, right?
Yeah.
Where's your motivation? What's motivating you now more, other than like your mom taking care of your family? How do you find motivation to keep doing what you did?
I mean, always I look at the end goal of how I want my career to look like. And then having a guy like Stephon Gilmore, like I watched all the time, it shows you, keep showing that motivation in your face to just keep going, and you're doing the right things.
Nice. So you feel like you have people in your corner that are kind of helping you do it, that you can't do it by yourself, right?
Oh no, you can never do anything by yourself.
I love it. That's good.
Do you have like kind of like a oh shit moment, like this is really happening, like that happened this year? Because like it was probably like just random
first interception. Oh shit, I'm gonna make a score touchdown.
Not even that. Like you're at the point where like, okay, you got 1, you got 2, you got 3. You're like, oh shit, like this could happen. Or like, was it at the end of the year, like where you were grinding, like you were on the grind, and now at the end of the year, you're like, you sat back, you looked at it, like maybe at the ESPYs when you're just like up for Defensive Player of the Year, like, which you should have won. Right? Like that's crazy.
You know how it goes. So that'll work.
Who won it? Myles Garrett?
Yeah. I mean, he deserved.
He had a great year, right?
Crazy year.
But you broke a record that was like 70 years old. But
it was a record that doesn't happen very much. Like a touchdown record, like a rushing record. That stuff is.
Myles Garrett's pretty, and Myles Garrett's name is pretty, and Deron Bland is like, fifth round draft pick from Fresno State. That
is true.
True. So talk about like, did you have like that oh shit moment, like this is crazy, like what just happened, or it's what's about to happen, or whatever?
I also had it after the record on the way home. I kept watching the video, just kind of like just reliving the moments. Like I really just did that just now.
I remember I was watching it, and like I think were you over here watching it? Maybe. No, what was that? It was on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving, yeah, and so it wasn't you. It was my family. I was like, like that's just like history because I knew it was like I knew it was not knew it was about to happen, but I knew you had the possibility of it happening. And when it happened, I was like, no way. Like that's like I was like juiced for you, and I barely even know you just through the gym and everything. But man, like just to have that person from Fresno State like be a Bulldog and like from NorCal, like
from the Valley,
just it's cool to even like represent the area that we came from, the school that we come from, and like have a record like that and be put on the national stage like that is just unbelievable. And for you to not win the defense player of the year is crazy.
Yeah, gotta protest. Gotta do something about it. That's the best part too, is when you see people that you know,
no doubt, be successful,
having success. Like it is like one of the coolest things. Some people, I think that like me and Kenny are done playing. We did the best that we could. We can't really go back and do anything. But when you're younger, you can get kind of jealous about other people. Like oh, you're like I'm better than him. Whatever. Now, whenever we look back and we see people that we know have success, it's like. It's one of the coolest feelings because you know that person, and I don't really know you that well, but like when you see somebody in person and you have had a conversation with them, then you see them on TV or you see them on the big stage having success, it's the coolest feeling because it's like that is another human being just like me.
Yeah, you just don't want to get nothing but love.
Right? Yes, exactly. Because when you're a kid, you put these people up on a pedestal. You put these people so high that they're just so much better than you are, and then when you get there and you're like, that's just another dude just like me. It's a pretty cool feeling.
And that was a great feeling. Just to be, especially when you got some people like you grow up around and you see them still winning with you. So like it's the best thing. You like got your whole circle doing the same thing. So.
Do you still keep in contact with, your boys from high school or college? Do they kind of show you love and?
Yeah, some of them,
all of them. No, what's that like?
A lot of them. I went to 2 colleges, so there's a lot to keep up with.
Sac State's like, yeah, he's on. He's on.
Yeah. Is it hard for you, getting all this attention? People wanting to talk to you.
Want to come on podcast?
Yeah, like is this hard for you because you have a different personality than like people that want all the attention. You just kind of want to go interview him or whatever, like I'm gonna do my job. You don't really want the attention, but you have the attention. Like you have this for the rest of your career, for the rest of your life, whether you like it or not. How do you deal with this, knowing you as a person that you're not as outgoing as some of your teammates?
At first it was a lot. It was a lot at first, especially during the season. Cause even the Seahawks game, they had me do an interview right before kickoff. Like I just came in the locker room, like I'm not even saying like 5 minutes. I just walked in the locker room and they're talking about, can we do an interview on the field? I was like, I gotta warm up. I only got an hour to warm up, so I didn't get a good warm up that game, and then so I feel like I was still on my head in the first half. So
kind of took you out of your routine a little bit.
Yeah, so like when you're not in your routine and like you feel like you're not there, you feel like you're off a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
does this give you more respect for those dudes that have to do interviews all the time and the the quarterbacks before and after?
Yeah, especially Dak, especially all the stuff he gets. So and just for him to keep going.
How is Dak?
Oh, he's great dude. That's why I don't understand how much hate he gets. So
that's one of the things that Kenny and I talk about a lot is like the media. Like you guys, have media training, how to talk about the media. And this is one of the first things that I learned quickly about TV and media and their job, because their job is to get people's eyes to watch, right? Like, clickbait, whatever it is. And then I'm looking at the TV and the dude that they're talking to is right next to me. And I'm like, that's not their dude. And you just explained it exactly with Dak, right? So what was your kind of, how he said, you like the oh shit moment. What was your moment when you realized that everything that you had watched on the NFL growing up is completely different now that you're in the locker room with the media and everything?
Really, when I first took over the spot for Diggs and people were saying, oh, how you feel about Diggs and this, it was like asking me that same question almost every week. So, and then actually be able to go out there and still prove like I still could do my job. It was like more and more attention was still coming, and I was like, there's no need for like all that attention. I'm still doing my job. Like it's nothing. I feel like there was nothing different that I was doing, and people were trying to make it seem like I was doing something different.
Yeah.
Did you feel like there was a switch, like when you came in and you took over Dig's spot, and you're like, okay, I'm taking over this guy who's produced for years, right? And now like the media is gonna look at me like, oh, this guy's not gonna be able to hold Diggs' jock, right? And then you start having this success, and you feel like the switch happened where it's like, all right, now they can't say anything to me because I'm out here performing. And did you feel like there was some sort of switch, like some reporters were on your like head in the beginning, and then you started performing, now they want to be like,
no, definitely, I definitely felt the switch. You know, you definitely gonna feel the switch easily because it's easy to tell. You know,
yes, for sure.
Everybody's gonna change at some point. Like even when I was doing the stuff, like they were still talking about Diggs still
Questioning
all the time,
you, right? Question you, which is crazy to me. Like the media is why wouldn't you want to just like, especially like the local people, right? The local people who just cover the Cowboys media like every day. Why wouldn't they want to build you guys up to make a better product for them to like I don't know, man. It blows my mind. Like these guys have like witch hunts to like make you say something bad about a teammate.
It's always gotta be a bad guy story.
Yeah, always gotta be. Why not have a good guy story? And then because I mean, it probably doesn't sell. But
Exactly. That's what I was exactly going to say because that's what sells. You know, like if you see, Bland and Diggs playing so good together this year, or you see these two getting a fight in the locker room, like what are you going to want to read? Like you're going to want to see that. So they're always trying to find stuff. It's just I don't know. It's tough.
I hate it because it's like such like a bad like it's what sells, and that's what's like bad about the world right now.
Especially when you know the people, right?
Yes.
Like you know Dak and you know Diggs, and then you see the hate that they're getting online. How does that make you feel when you're watching them? It's like, man, why does everybody hate Dak so much? He's like such a good dude.
Honestly, during the season, I was like, when I was like looking at it and like at home, I was like, I wanted to ask Dak, like, how do you even function, like just to be like cool with the media, like even though they're doing all this online.
Yeah. How do you think he deals with it? Like, is he just like, a true pro? Does he have
he's definitely a true pro.
Like a lot of good people around him? How do you think he deals with that?
I think he's a true pro, and it's the guys he has around him, his family and everything. Also, we all support him too, so I feel like it's just people he got around him, just his base people.
Yeah. Is he kind of hard to get to, or is he pretty easy to just like?
Oh no, you can walk up to Dak.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying like these guys, you hear the stories about like Russell Wilson. He's a great guy, talk to anybody, but you had to like go to his office or like make a meeting to be able to like speak to him. Like Dak's not like that, right?
No.
He's just a cool dude.
Yeah,
I've never played with anybody like that.
You never have?
No.
I mean, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, that's crazy.
Let's ride.
We're in the middle spot. I'm going to hand this over
to
Mr. Wiggins. To Mr. Wiggins. There it is right there.
Gosh.
All right. So, Deron, one of our where'd they go?
They're right there.
Oh, they're over there. I'll go grab them. So you start and I'll grab them. Get into it. Give me the whole spiel, Wiggins. Come on.
So we have this thing that we take all the time that we live by. It's called Magic Mind.
As you can tell, we're already
Magic Mind. So basically what it is, it's a productivity shot. You take it with like your coffee or your pre-workout, and it extends your energy throughout the day. So like you drink a cup of coffee, your pre-workout, you spike and you drop, boom, 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 boom. This one just keeps it boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just level-headed, boom, focused. It has matcha in it for that's like caffeine, energy. It has the ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha. Tell about that lion's mane.
Lion's mane mushrooms, some other mushrooms.
What else? Read it.
I don't know those.
Read it.
I don't know those. Refrigerata rosa. I don't know.
Yeah, man. So me and Kenny we're in our health and fitness stage, right? Because you'll kind of see this after your career. He got beat up on the football field. I got beat up trying to throw a baseball. We're a little bit banged up. We try to eat good. We try not to, drink, party, try to sleep good, all that stuff. The more you drink this every single day, the healthier you are as a human. You get the brain health. It's got the nootropics, all that stuff, so that we stay sharp, have energy all day. So that's what the Magic Mind is. They've been great to us. Really, really cool stuff. We'll try to have them send you some. You can drink it.
Appreciate it.
It's easy. It tastes good. All that stuff. Kenny drank all 3 of these. That's why we don't have any for you. But we'll give you one.
It tastes like no apple cider vinegar close to that.
No. It's good.
It
good.
actually tastes good. I'm not a big like wheatgrass shot guy or anything like that.
It's good.
But that tastes good.
It's good.
That does taste good.
What do they got to do, Kenny?
They got to go to magicmind.com/1degree and then use the code 1degree20. You get 20% off your purchase. And then if you sign up for the subscription,
and should they just buy one or should they subscribe to
sign
that
up
shit?
to the subscription because once you have one, you're going to want to have like a whole month's worth. So sign up for
every
the
day
subscription. Then you get 56% off if you
something
use our
like
code.
That. Oh,
Something like that.
It's a good
It's
deal.
crazy, yeah.
20% off in our code, and then obviously when you subscribe to something, you get a big discount. So
Yeah.
go to the website,
Yep.
put in 1degree20, and just
Give it a shot.
you know what I mean.
Give it
the
a
shot
productivity shot.
All right, back to it. Question for you, Duran. Who is the hardest wide receiver that you have went up against to guard in the NFL?
Keenan Allen.
Ooh.
Why?
Keenan Allen.
My dude.
Keenan Allen. I mean, he's not a super fast guy, but he could change his pace between his routes. So like, it's really hard to like get a good jam on him. Even though you get a jam on him, it's not good enough to where you can stop him. You can still like get open. So I say he's probably the hardest ones.
One of the things I noticed about Keenan is all of his routes look the same. Right?
Is that the hardest
same.
part? So what makes a wideout? Is it more pure talent and speed, or the route running ability and working with the quarterback?
Route running ability and working with the quarterback. If you got a receiver that can work with his quarterback, that's almost an unstoppable duo.
That was my next question. Is it harder to guard a wideout that's just like super fast, that also can run routes, or is it more difficult when they have a quarterback that knows what they're doing to be able to kind of pick apart the defense?
As a quarterback, when they know what they're doing.
So the quarterback's harder to deal with. So when you guys are doing your film and doing all your preparation, your guys' skills are obviously down to be able to guard a wideout, but you're preparing for the quarterback and the whole offensive scheme more than just guarding one dude.
Yeah, because definitely the quarterback could change everything. He can get out the pocket, run, and you guard the receiver for a little bit longer. So the quarterback could change a lot throughout the whole play.
Who's the toughest quarterback that you guys have to deal with?
This season I'll probably say Josh Allen. Even though he didn't throw too much, but he beat us. Even though he didn't throw that well, so.
Do you feel like his legs make it tough, or his arm, right? Because you can't give up on the deep threat, like
both. I feel like it's more so the legs. When you got a running quarterback, that's like another running back. So that's another person you got to count for. So and that's a hard person to account for when you only got 4 people to rush him or 5, and you still got the other 7 to cover. 6 or 7 cover. And
I mean, speaking, I'm not a DB or anything, but the ability to extend the plays, that's what gets DBs in trouble, right? Because then it's like you're Garner, dude. Kind of that play clock goes off in your head.
Trying to play basketball out there, right? Like
so you're out there you're running around you feel like you kind of have like that feeling of like, okay, the route's kind of over, right? And then it's like, oh shit. Then they take off. And then you're recovering, right? Like, so it's that play clock goes off in your head when you have a guy like Josh who can extend a play, and like Lamar or whatever, they're just or Patrick Mahomes. That's why they're so successful, because they know how to work with their receivers, and they can stay alive long enough for the receivers to get open, right? So like you say, oh, that was like a coverage sack or whatever it is, like. They don't get those because there's the coverage can be really, really, really good, but you can only cover for so long. Yeah. And so like that's what I would say is probably from an offensive mind, not a defensive mind, like the best thing is to be able to extend the plays, which also sucks for linemen too.
I was just going to ask.
Because you don't know where he is, because you're behind or you're in front of him, but your back's to him.
Well, and you have to block for 6, 7 seconds instead of 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's what was so good about Phillip. Like, you knew that where he was going to be. He was not running, and that ball was coming out quick, and that was the best.
And that's the thing, like like a quarterback knows with a good D line, most of the time he only has 4 seconds. Yep. He only has 4 seconds. So if he sees 2, and then one guy go through, he can extend the play easily.
So how do you guys prepare for that, knowing when you're going against up somebody like Josh Allen or Lamar or Patrick Mahomes? Is it more preparation as like a group that you guys are in this as a unit, or is it more of like every single person has to do their job in order to have success?
Both. I mean, everybody has to do their job, but things happen during the game. Every time players get beat. Some players beat each other, beat themselves up. So it's really a bit of both.
So we have an offensive mind player and a defensive mind player. He just talked about, Phillip Rivers and he's talked about multiple times how a lot of his success in his career has been because of Phillip. And Phillip had trust in him. Who on the defensive side is a leader, and how important is that quarterback on the defense? And who is it for the Cowboys? Who's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback on the defense?
Well, this year we got to find it again because, losing some vets. But last year was Leighton Vander Esch. Leighton coming in, always helped me, especially coming out of nickel. At a nickel. And he's telling me just make sure I'm good with the calls. He helped me make the calls. He made the calls for me. Just make sure I'm comfortable getting that position. So having a leader like that does make a lot of things comfortable.
It's
Boise,
just
though, Boise State though, bro.
No,
gross.
I know that's why. Yes, I can say that.
Gross.
I know.
He didn't want to, but he. But
he was the middle linebacker of our defense.
I know.
So I had to say it.
Yeah, when they had him, Sean Lee and Jalen Smith. That was some dudes, man. That was some dudes.
Yeah.
That was a good linebacker core for sure. I remember Jalen came in late in New York, and he was like one of those guys. I'm like, okay, why do they cut him? This dude's good, for real.
That's the thing about NFL. You never know understand why some people get cut.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. Have you do you really see politics very much in the NFL outside of the first rounders and the dudes that are getting paid? What's it like?
I'll say those guys see the more politics than the first rounders because they get moved around so much more than anybody, and they got to fight through more than anybody too.
Who's that? Who are you talking about?
Just anybody that's after the second, third round.
Yeah,
those guys got to fight more.
Yeah, because the first round guy, they're going to get their chance. They're going to basically play in the league for at least 5 years, right?
What surprised me the most was the egos of the front office people. That is what is blew my mind, right? Where it's they are. What do you mean?
I was about to say, let's get into the front office of the Dallas Cowboys. Probably the most famous one in the world.
No, but just having that ego of, okay, I drafted this guy. He has to play, or he has to be there was multiple times in my career where I was the better player, and offensive line coach knew it, head coach knew it, the whole team knew it, Phillip knew it, and they were like, this guy's got to play. Just because we have so much money invested into him, he's got to play. I'm just you guys trying to win games, or are you guys trying to
Well, it could also be something that they don't want to deal with, right? If you go in there and have a good game, then great. If you don't have a bad game, they have to listen to the media. They have to do this. Why aren't you playing this guy? Why'd you pay this guy? It's they kind of want to keep it off their hands, where it's kind of like a win-win for them. They just play the guy because they paid the guy, and they look like they know what they were doing.
And they lose.
Too. That's the thing, too. They don't ever like to look like they don't know what they're doing.
No, exactly.
They're
crazy. It's crazy. But, in my mind, if you win games – you look like you know what you're doing. Yeah. And if you don't put the best players out on the field to win those games, it's a catch-22. You're going to – the dudes you paid and then aren't performing, but you can have the guys that are behind them that are playing better and to possibly help you win more games to keep your job, because at the end of the day – you win, you're going to keep your job. So I don't know, man.
You got two things when it comes to professional sports. Well, yeah, you have a lot of things that people don't understand. You have a lot of things, and the players are all eyes are on the players.
Yeah.
Then the players get blamed, players and coaches, right? But there's tons of things behind the scenes that are the reason why stuff happened that nobody knows about. So my question to you, Mr. Bland, and you have to answer this honestly. Why haven't the Dallas Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl with the teams that they've had for the last 25 years? In your eyes, watching as a fan, as a kid, playing college football, now on the team, with the talent that they have and the fan base that they have and the money that they have, why haven't they been to the Super Bowl?
You trying to have me viral. But I don't know. It's just when you get when you get the playoffs, it's just you can't make that many mistakes. That's what it is. And we just can't. We just haven't found that part just to dumb down our mistakes, just to make the least mistakes on the field. That's really what it is.
And you can only speak to the last 2 years. You can't speak for the previous time, which is true for you. And you're still playing like it's different, but. And I'm just feeling for my Dallas Cowboy fan friends, right? They get hype every year. Jerry comes out with a huge boner about all these guys that he signed. And I think the Cowboys have the most pressure on them out of any sports team in all of sports, right? So do you think it is a pressure thing? Do you think it is a front office thing? Or do you think it's just overall bad luck?
It could be all over bad luck, but it's I don't know because it feel like sometimes we be there and sometimes we don't be there, and it's too much like fluctuation in our we don't have much consistency in like what we put in our play. I feel like there's good games that we have. There's games that we have exceptional games, and then games that we're making all the mistakes, and we just feel like we're doing everything wrong. So and we can't catch our feet. So
what do you think, Kenny?
I'll say this: NFL is so evenly matched. It's crazy. Like, yeah, there's some teams that are like 2-15 or whatever at the end of the year.
Anybody,
dude,
but but I'm saying like the salary cap makes it even, right? Like it's like there's no like Yankees that can pay dude $100 million every year to like play. Like there's like baseball has an unlimited salary cap, so that's why it's so even across the board. Like anybody could beat anybody any given day, and the amount of talent that's in the league is crazy, right? And then it takes literally one mistake in a playoff game and your season's done, right? Like the detail of winning and losing or winning and losing, the measure, like the how close it is to winning and losing is inches, bro, in the NFL. And it's crazy. It could be like, okay, if this guy just holds on to this block for a third of a second longer, the running back scoring a touchdown and then the game's over. It could be something like that where
the margins for error are
that's what I'm trying to find.
Yeah, because that's like my rookie year. It was like my first game starting. We played the Packers, and it was like we went to overtime, and we was like had the last drive to stop them because they were going to get a field goal to win. And I'm guarding Alan Lazard, and he runs a slant. I slip, and he goes and gets to the 10, and they won the game. It's just little things like that. You know, it's just so you can't make. It's the least amount of mistakes.
Probably something you've done 10,000 times, right? Like probably more, right? A break or whatever to break on a slant, and you just the mud, the spot you hit on the grass was just like the variables in football are just so crazy, man. And then that's the hard part where the stuff that you can't control or the stuff that that's when you're just like, shit, like why am I like doing that, you know?
And then you got the fans come back, wow, you lost us the game and all that.
Is that the hardest thing about playing for the Cowboys is like the pressure of being America's team? Do you guys feel that in the locker room?
I mean, yeah, you feel that. Jerry has tours coming in there, so you see like some fans in there too. So like you see them looking at you.
What's Jerry like? Honest opinion.
He's cool, but like we don't ever see Jerry. You see Jerry every once in a while.
You just see Jerry on TV, just like everybody else sees Jerry on TV, huh?
No, we see Jerry sometimes like on our meeting. He comes on our team meetings sometimes, and then always see him at training camp.
How is he? You got to talk to him a lot?
Not too much. That's like really my visit.
So when you broke the record, did he come down and congratulate you?
Oh yeah.
What did he say?
I took a whole picture with the whole Jones family.
What did he say?
He just said like you're doing a great job. Proud of you, and pretty much and said something like you did. Well, Steven said it, but you're doing stuff that Deion didn't do. That's what he said.
Deion comparisons, huh?
Yeah, it is dope having like have them say something like that.
Yeah,
because Deion is a guy like set the benchmark for corners. So. Yeah.
probably the best to ever.
The best athlete
to ever do it. Yeah, at the corner position for sure. Which to be compared to, and it's kind of cool that you're playing on the same team that he played on too, for like the majority of his career. But yeah, man, you ain't the next Deion. You're the next. You're the only Duran, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you have a lot of people reach out to you and congratulate you when you did get the record? People that you never really thought you'd talk to. Somebody like Deion. Did he reach out and talk to you?
No, not Deion.
Deion, get your ass on the phone. Call this man.
No, I talked. I was sitting next to Deion at the NFL Honors, so we said what's up a little bit.
How was that?
It was cool actually.
Yeah.
Like that was my first time seeing Deion too. So
he's got he's got a book coming out or something. I think he's been going on podcasts. He was on Ed Milet's podcast the other day, which Deion's a dude, man. He is like he knows what he's talking about. He's a pro. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he does. Like he's one of the best athletes in the world when it comes to talent. Yeah. Right? To play two sports at the same time, playing a football game and then getting on a chopper and going to playing a baseball game. Like that is unbelievable. And he was so good. He's so fast. And then to back up how he talked, because he was just as fast with his mouth as he was on the feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a package. He's a dude, and I think now that he's a head coach, he's a father, he's having success at the college level. How do you feel about Deion now? And did you look up to him as a kid?
Oh yeah, definitely looked up Deion as a kid. But what he's doing now, I feel like is game changing to like a lot of players. Especially a lot of players don't even get that type of player around them, like Deion. Especially, so like just to even get that knowledge and just to get that coaching from him, so it's gonna make a big impact for those players and just people who interact with him. So I would say.
How do you feel about Deion as a coach?
I think I don't know how his X's and O's are and how he translates to like players and stuff like that, but the fact that he's changing football, or he's changing college football right now, which it's such an old head like game, right? Like you see like Saban going on and saying like NIL's ruining football and all that kind of stuff.
That's why he left, right?
Yeah, but it may be he may be thinking that is, but Deion is taking that and he's exploiting that, and he's growing the game, how the game is growing. He's adapting with the game and how, instead of like trying to force it back into the old ways. And I think that's like,
but they're not going too extreme.
Not going too extreme, because he just holding these kids accountable too. Like he's the one person who can be like, hey, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like I've done it, I've been there, I'm exactly who you want to be. Like, and to have that as a coach, like, I don't know about you, but I mean, you said your DB coach Harris, he was an ex-player. Yeah, like you have so much more
people
respect,
you want to gravitate to.
You have so much more respect for
you're going to listen to him before you even hear him talk, right? Exactly, because you know that he has a name for himself. My two favorite coaches in the NFL were ex-players and like O-line coaches. So it's like, but there are guys at the same time that they were just good players because they were good, but they have no idea why they were good at the same time.
So sure,
yeah.
So the ones that
had those kind of freak athletes. So.
Yeah, but the ones that are good, they can actually teach it, and they were a pro, and they can help you. Those are rare people. Those are rare, and I think that Deion is having success. And to your point about, he's a good mix of old school. You're gonna work, talk to the parents. You're gonna get a man when you get back, but at the same time, you gotta be flashy. You gotta pay these guys. You have to do it all. You can't just be like Bama and be paying these guys under the table before they were paying them under the table, or before they were paying them over the table, right? Like Deion is that good mix where he understands. I think that he can get players to come and play for him because it's him.
No doubt.
He doesn't have to pay, or he doesn't have to figure out how to get this player. He's just going to be honest. He's going to be like, you come play for me because I obviously know what I'm talking about. This is what I'm going to give you. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't think he cares. He's just like, this is what I'm going to do. This is where you're going to get here. Take it or leave it. And then he just moves on to the next one.
If you're any DB in the country and you're high school and you got offered by Deion, you have to go, right?
DB,
that's what I'm saying, right?
Gotta go.
One, you go and you learn all this from the best DB to ever play. And then two, when it's time for you to get drafted, you're like, oh, this guy was taught by Dion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a win-win for the kid, right? So that's what I think. I mean, he's killing it. I hope he does really well because I love seeing former players be successful in the coaching world too.
Yeah.
Dion is I'm a fan, dude.
Yeah, me too.
I like him. If you were in college now and Dion recruited you, let's actually throw some NIL in it. Let's say Dion, was recruiting you. You're playing corner.
You're at Sac
Right?
State right now.
You're at Sac State. Dion says, "Hey, you be playing pretty good, man. Why don't you come over here and play with Coach Prime?" But you wasn't gonna get very much money, right? You were getting taken care of. But then, let's not say like let's not say the big schools, but somebody on that same level, another Pac-12 or what is it now, Pac-4, like the Pac's gone. But let's say like an SEC school, Ole Miss or something like that, comes to you. They give you more money. You're playing in the SEC. What are you choosing?
Well, I'm looking at where I'm gonna play, where I can play at. First
Both of them say that you're gonna start.
First and foremost. Okay. It's different now.
Come on. Both of them say that you're gonna start. Both of them say you're starting.
I'm going with Dion.
You going with Dion, huh?
Yeah.
Wiggins, where are you going?
Show me the money. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I would probably go to Dion too, just for that mere factor of like if I'm an O lineman, but if it's like if I'm a DB going to getting coached by Dion, have to.
Well, also, like I feel like I just go to Dion just in general, just because he know what it's like to just go to the next level. So like I already got the access to him if I'm going to be on that team.
I think Dion knows everything, right? Because he played multiple sports. He went to college at a big school. Was drafted in 2 different leagues. He was on TV. He had all the money. Had the private jets. Coached he started coaching his son's high school team, and then he went to Jackson State. Now he's at Colorado. I feel like he's a well-traveled human, let alone athlete, right? So you're gonna learn stuff from him outside of
just more than football,
right? And I think that's why actually a lot of parents want their kids to go play with them because he knows how to speak to them. He's trying to grow these people as humans and not just athletes. And kids that are 17, 18 years old are going to listen to their parents, right? It's not all about the money when it comes to college. NFL, it's a different story. You don't really have the choice. You kind of have to do what.
Yeah, because that money's going to stop in college at some point.
Right? So, yeah, Dion's got it all. How do you feel about the NIL? Like players getting paid, is it kind of getting out of control? What do you think has to happen in the future?
I do feel like they could regulate a little bit instead of just telling players like, okay, we're just going to give you this. Like, how do you teach a player to keep working then? I feel like, and especially when they get there and you feel like you make them promises and they get to that point and like, oh, you promised you this and this is not what's happening. So like you get a player that's shutting down. So,
or you, yeah, exactly. Or you kind of might get like those prima donnas. Or now you're adding, politics into football.
Yeah,
college football.
And now you might have other players in the team fighting. Now that he's being paid more than this, and then I'm getting paid this. Why am I not starting? So I feel like there should be a little bit of regulation on that part.
I never thought about like the politics when it comes to college football now, because now a dude's got to play because he's getting $500,000 from the NIL. You know what I mean? Or you have players like Caleb Williams, who's getting a lot of negative attention because he didn't work out at the combine. He just made $3.5 million playing college football. He said that he's not going to these teams. Like he's kind of already done that, and I don't know. Do you think it hurts him? Do you think that he'll be fine? How do you feel about him?
I feel like it hurts him a little bit, but it's gonna help him he's gonna realize like, oh, I gotta still work. Things out there is not just gonna be given still, but he gonna understand that.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, dude. The NIL is weird too because it's like the transfer portal too, which is crazy because
it left a lot of guys in transfer portal.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can be like, hey, like if a coach is real with the player, right? Like, hey, you need to do this to play, and he's like, screw that, I'm transferring. So it's like the coaches kind of have to walk on eggshells around these players now too, where it's like before it was like you signed the deal, like if you wanted to transfer you could, but you had to sit out a year. Like that's a huge you're missing a fourth of your college career, right? Like
you make people actually think about transfer.
No doubt. Instead of now where it's like, okay, I had a good year, I'm gonna throw my name in the transfer portal and get a quick little bag and then go do it again the next year too.
Go to another school.
Yeah, which is crazy, but I mean.
Money talks.
No doubt. But I mean, I don't fault the kids for taking advantage of their opportunity right now because
some kids not gonna get the opportunity.
No doubt. And and you have to take full advantage of your football life when you have it. And that's just what it is.
It has to change to create separation of college football and NFL, right? Like, because it's just going to become the same. Like, you have somebody leaving basically for free agency every year for 4 years, and then they go and play in the NFL.
Yeah, because that's I forgot what player I seen, but they didn't want to go to the NFL. I forgot it was a basketball player. Or to the league just because they were making money already.
Right? Yeah. Like you don't.
I can stay another year, keep making this money.
Yeah. Steve.
Like they don't understand. Like when you get to the next level, there's still more money you can make.
Yeah, but you're playing against grown ass men in the NFL. You're still playing against kids in college. You can still play good in college. What do you think of these contracts that are getting handed out right now? Kirk Cousins signed a 4-year, $180 million deal. How do you feel about that, Wiggins? You like that?
Dude, all I wanted it to be was just somebody's like mistake, like some GM's like $10 million mistake, right? It's like, man, we shouldn't have gave that kid $10 million. But
you think that's overpaid? Do you think he's worth it?
So what is it? 4 years?
4 years, $180 million. I think $50 million signing bonus.
Yeah. So I heard somebody talk about it. I mean, it's not like a crazy deal because it's 4 years, right?
Yeah. It's a typical quarterback deal,
right?
Right?
He's getting less than 50 a year, which is like the top quarterbacks are getting 50. So that's. I mean, it's really not that crazy of a deal, and the Falcons are at a spot right now where they needed a quarterback because they have a lot of other pieces that are like pretty good. They got Bijan, they got Kyle Pitts, like they got some weapons on offense, and their defense is good. So it's like, all right, do we just break off Kirk Cousins real quick, and so we can kind of be a stopgap until we can find our next guy?
They just got to get out of that 28-3 Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I mean, I don't mind the deal for the Falcons. Good job, Kurt and his agent. Like, holy shit, he's been killing got a good agent his whole life.
Yeah. Then you got Chris Jones for the Chiefs, 5 years, $160 million.
Give him all the money he wants.
He's valid.
He's valid.
Give him all the money he wants.
He's good. Let's see some other ones. Mike Evans, 2 years, $52 million.
That's nice for him,
right?
Glad to see him stay a buck too, because he's been through the shit over there too, which where a lot of the times where it was like early in his career he was like the only dude on the team where it was
and then he got Tom Brady,
and then
still getting 1,000 yards a season.
Yeah, still got 1,000 yards a season, no doubt.
Baker's
good, dope. Man. Yeah, Baker got little deal too.
Baker, what do you feel about Saquon to the Eagles? 3 years, $37 million.
Saquon is going. I'm sorry, but he's gonna bust everyone's ass with Philly's O-line. Saquon's another one of those dudes where it's like you look at him, you're like, how are you built like that? Like his legs are literally like this big, bro. I'm not even joking. They're giant.
Did you have to tackle him?
Oh yeah.
What's that like? You just try to wait.
Try to get him down as best as you can.
Yeah, dude. He's a good dude, and he works hard, and like all the stuff. Like he's the guy you want in your locker room.
He's that dude, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Him
and AJ Dillon are ridiculous.
Big dudes, huh? Speaking of the Packers, Josh Jacobs signs a 4-year, $48 million deal with the Packers.
Yep. I mean, the running back market right now is going crazy.
Running backs are getting paid, and they haven't been.
I mean, they had that year last year. We were fighting for it, so
right. Yeah. And like all of them are moving teams now too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's crazy.
Another one. Like, let's see. Another move. Derrick Henry
to the Falcons.
No,
I mean,
Ravens.
To the Ravens.
How do you feel about that, Derrick? So you have Lamar. You're just gonna.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah. That's a 2-year, $16 million deal, but. I mean, Derrick Henry's been in the league for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, what's it, 9 years? Like,
he produces though.
Yeah, he does. Every year.
Tony Pollard, leaving, going to the
guy.
Titans, 3 years, $24 million. Happy to see somebody like that get paid, right? He was kind of in Zeke's shadow for a little bit. He's a dude. He can play. He can catch the ball. Pretty good fantasy guy too.
I think he was a late rounder too. So yeah,
Happy for him.
yeah, I'm definitely happy for him.
How is he? Is he a dude?
Oh yeah,
Good
crazy
guy?
too.
Man, a lot of good contracts going out. DeAndre Swift goes to the Bears.
Swifty.
3 years. What's up with the Bears? Like, are they ever gonna figure it out?
I don't know.
Like, that's tough.
I
Bobby
like
Wagner
Swift,
still
too.
doing it.
Yeah, no,
Swift's
yeah, we came out the same year, so I've been watching him.
Yeah.
Since high
Yeah,
school.
he was a good dude too. Like
Swift?
quiet, like kept to himself, just
Yeah.
worked hard. Him and Kerryon Johnson were kind of sharing the load, and Kerryon got hurt, and then we kind of like threw him in there. I was like, okay, this guy can
Yeah.
shake a little bit, and like I was like pumped about it because he was a little breath of fresh air because we had like some older backs before that in Detroit, and then watching him, kind of
Yeah,
play really
especially when you
well.
get something new like that.
Yeah.
Crazy how much talent you have in the NFL, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because like, one dude leaves, you got another guy.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Dillon, we don't know where he's going. It just says TBD. Austin Eckler,
to Washington, right?
Washington,
Mhm, yeah.
2 years, $11 million.
DQ taking everybody.
Yeah.
What's he got? Who's calling you? Are you in trouble? Getting fired?
No, somebody was going to though.
All right. Ooh. All right. Izzy just left. I don't know where. Did you have to go take a dump? All right.
All right, you ready?
You got the scores?
Yeah, I got the scores.
No, we're gonna talk about this first because we need Iggy. We need Iggy back. Izzy. We need Izzy back. Izzy, hurry up! Get back here. All right. We finished these with 10 questions.
You ready for this?
Give me the scores right here from top to bottom. Give me the scores and the guess.
All right. Let me find it.
And they're basically the same questions. We haven't really had
Yeah.
to change them up yet.
So Gatewood was 4-1.
Bad.
Carson was 7-5.
Mm.
Gabe was 8-4. Isaiah and Walden were 8-5. Greg
So those are the highest, 8-5?
8-5. Greg was 4-8. Dr. B 8-4.
So it's Marcus, Isaiah, and Dr.
Dr.
B.
B. And Gabe.
I think Dr. B's was better than those, but you're the judge. You're the ruler. All right, I'll keep the time. We got the time rolling right there. So how this works is we're going to ask you 10 questions.
All right.
You have 1 minute to answer each question.
Okay.
But Kenny's going to judge you 0 through 10 about how you answered the questions.
Okay. Let me
How
look this
fast?
way.
How good they yeah. Yeah.
Look at it.
Don't look at it. Easy questions. Now, I'm going to give you a secret here. First thing that comes to mind, just say it.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Listen, because if he hears, he's going to roast you.
I already know he is.
He's
That's why I'm not going to look
roast
at him.
All right. I got the time. 1 minute, 10 questions. 3, 2, 1, go. Other than football, what is your favorite sport?
Basketball.
If you could eat only one thing all day, every day, what would it be?
Chicken Alfredo.
Most famous contact in your phone.
Micah.
If you were a potato, how would you like to be cooked?
Baked.
3 things you're bringing with you on a deserted island.
My phone. Charger.
Come on.
My girlfriend.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. Team that you hate the most in all sports. Team you hate the most in all sports.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Just say anything.
I can't throw out a team.
Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Favorite
you
non-sports
said that.
movie. Favorite non-sports movie.
Non-sports. What? Menace Society.
Dinner with any sports star, dead or alive.
I'll probably say Muhammad Ali.
If you were a stripper, what would your stripper name be?
Pick 6. That would be kind of dope, though.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
All right, we'll take that. Pick
Pick
6.
Come out with a 6-pack.
Ooh, Taylor Swift or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Nice. Nice. That's it. All right.
MJ was
So
always my guy.
that was like
MJ
30
was always my guy.
seconds over. Ooh. Let me. Okay.
You started off strong. Bro.
Strong.
Like,
I know you got me with the team one though.
You said Boise.
But I was
Yeah.
only here for 1 year.
You could have said UC Davis.
All right, Kenny. Let's go. All right, Kenny.
You could
Let's go.
said St. Mary's of Stockton.
Izzy, you missed it. Yeah.
I mean,
Started off great.
started off fire and then he just fell off.
All right, what's the score, Wiggins? Let's go.
You got to get better than Greg. He didn't answer. He
The
didn't answer one
favorite
of them.
sports team that he hates the most?
Yeah.
You didn't answer one though, and I
Which
gave
one?
you the
I didn't.
sports team. You didn't answer it,
Oh.
and you froze on your stripper name too. Frozen.
Hey,
Well,
Pick
first of
Six
all-
is a
Pick
good
Six is a-
name.
First of all, I had a golf bland. First of all,
You could have said not bland or something like that.
I mean, I had anything but bland. Shout out Jess from Cowboys Nation, but
All right,
Yeah.
let's go. 5-2.
5.2.
5-2.
damn,
5-2.
man,
That's the score. He started off
that's
good,
lowest on the
man.
list. How far is that on the list?
You're the bottom. You're the bottom half. You're the bottom three.
Okay,
You're
as long
the
as they ain't
bottom.
I see the 4 on there.
Yeah, hey. And you're better than Greg.
Better than Greg.
Better than Greg. That's all that matters. I think that's
That's what the name of the game should be.
better than Greg. Let's get it. Welcome into this game of Better Than Greg. 10 questions.
Sorry.
All right, Duran, appreciate you coming in, man. This was awesome. Make sure you follow this man, all social medias. What's your Instagram?
Duran_Bland.
Probably the dude. A lot of eyes are going to be on you next year, so keep your head down, keep working,
Gotcha.
stay the same, man. Very, very humble guy, quiet guy. It's hard to get 2 words out of him, but he wanted to come and hang out with us. So appreciate you guys. Follow us on Instagram. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, YouTube, all that good stuff, and appreciate it. Until next time, Kenny, tell Izzy to hit you with that theme music.
Izzy, hit me up with theme music.